What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. We're going to be getting into my full review of the Hogue Counter-Strike. Let's get into it. All right, what we're going to do is just do some quick size comparisons here to give you an idea just how big this OTF is, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into my thoughts and impressions. So kicking it off with the size comparisons is going to be the Civivi Praxis, which actually, when you mount it up to the bolt, is going to be a little bit bigger than the Counter-Strike, and we're going to do the CJRB Echo for the other size comparison. Really close in size. I know you have more blade length on here, and because of the screw, if we didn't do the screw and I move these up a little bit, you know, I just like to do it for full length. But when you're looking at the handles, not a huge difference here between these two. You got definite more handle length on here, but what I'm trying to say is this is more on the medium side in my opinion. Let's keep it going with a couple other size comparisons. I'm going to move the budget knives out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and get a couple of USA made folders out here, just again for the size reference for folks that may be carrying folders instead of OTFs, or maybe OTFs are just now becoming more popular in your area. So I'm bringing the ProTech Mordax out here. Sorry, I didn't realize the flipper tab's hitting the button, kind of interacting there. Mordax is a little bit bigger, and then the Benchmade bug out a little bit closer in size, but it is well, I guess no, this actually looks like it's a little bit closer to the Mordax looking over top of the camera now. So it actually, maybe I'm wrong, maybe this is more of a full size, but it doesn't feel like it in hand. I'm gonna go ahead and move these two out of the way and just do a couple more really quick size references. Here's a Demco AD 20.5, which is definitely gonna be smaller, and I consider the AD 20.5 and the bug out more medium sized. And then here it is against the Shaman, and as you can see, the Shaman just a skosh longer. So yeah, I probably was wrong in the beginning. I said I find it to be more of a medium knife, but now actually having laid them down with folders instead of just holding it myself, more of a medium sized knife. Now, what I really love about this is I love that they decided to, instead of just doing an all aluminum shell with flat, boring, same thing that everyone else is doing type scales, they put some nice milling on here. They did some G-Mascus to give it a little bit of contrast. And then you still have these milling lines here for extra grip. And on the aluminum side with the pocket clip, or the opposite side, because you can reverse this, you have some more milling on here or texturing for grip on here, and I love that that adds just a little bit of flair to the knife. You have a nice screw that replaces the attitude adjuster slash glass breaker on here. You have a spot for a lanyard, which I personally would have been okay doing without, because I actually find that that's kind of pokey when you have it in pocket. So it goes in the pocket like this, and this kind of pokes when you sit down. So I could have done without that. They can get rid of that. I don't think people are really going to miss it if they did. You have a beautiful stonewash finish on 20 CV, very thin blade stock. So this thing slices really well. I love this for getting into packages and into boxes. It cuts really well. It has a great blade shape for it as well. And even if you needed to kind of use it as a draw cut, you can get out here just fine to use the tip.
That's what she said. No.
And you can pinch cut with it, but really I just find, you know, for getting in and out of things or cutting things quickly, this works really well in my opinion. The switch on here is very tall and it doesn't have a ton of jimping. I'd actually like to see them just lower this ever so slightly and add just a little bit more jimping on here, or make the jimping a little bit more aggressive, just a little bit, because it is a little smooth and I kind of feel that I slide across it as I'm opening it or closing it. Now, opening it a little bit better because I'm able to get the better angle because of the natural hand position. And, you know, when you do it quick, it's really not an issue whatsoever, and it fires. I mean, great action, great sounds. I like this one a ton. Now, I know Kevin was saying, and I got to watch under the camera, so I'm sorry if I'm backing away from the mic. Kevin was saying he had an issue with his retracting. I think when he oiled it, I don't know if some of the oil got into the catch mechanism. So when I oiled mine, I was very careful to go and hit the corners. And then after I did it a couple times, I dried what was on the blade off and just left it alone. And then I did it a couple more times and I dried it off. Now I probably will have to oil it more often because I did it that way, but I noticed that I'm not having that issue with it upside down whatsoever. And I hope that's not messing with the mic. I'm doing that to demonstrate it. So I apologize if it interrupts the sound. I don't know how my Rode mic will react to it, but really, really nice action on this one. Really light carry too. I forgot to do the weight earlier on, so we'll check that really quick, but I think it's 3 ounces on this one. Maybe a little bit more. 2.8. So yeah, I felt like around 3 ounces. So a really lightweight carry, in my opinion, especially considering how much knife you're getting for it. Now it is a little bit more slender, but I like that because I can throw this in my organizer and carry it as a companion carry. It fits perfectly down in there. I can throw it in the pocket, and because of the materials and everything, the way that it's built by Hogue, feels really solid. Just a really solid knife. I forgot to cover it. It does have your typical up and down, side to side. It has less side to side, and up and down is minimal. If you focus here, very minimal up and down. It has those tolerances because it makes it easier to make sure that it's firing open and closed without catching on any of the feed parts that are on the inside and outside. So let me see if I can show you down in there. Very tight tolerances, but you can see it doesn't look like it's rubbing on anything whatsoever. There's no coating coming off. And I've had this one for a couple months, which means I'm late getting the review to it, but it doesn't make it into the rotation as much as my folders because it is something very loud to fidget with, and it's not something that I can carry into the office. I don't think this would be well received in an office place. I tend to carry smaller knives into an office space and really clean, simple designs that aren't really aggressive in my opinion. So this is like weekend, evenings, and things of that nature. And it's not always my main carry. It's usually a companion carry. So that's really how I'm carrying it. But again, automatic knives, especially like this, just became legal to carry in the state of Virginia. So I'm just now getting the opportunity to experience these. And while I really do like them, I'm so accustomed to carrying folders, I just tend not to gravitate to this one as much, but I do like this one a lot. I do make it, it does make it into my rotation, and it does perform really well for all the cutting tasks that I'm doing with this particular knife. So I do like this a lot. It is a very recommendable knife. USA made, coming in, I think like mid 200s, if I remember right. I think around that price point. Future me, if you can throw that up on the screen here for everybody, that would be great. I really do appreciate it. And then my only gripe about the pocket clip would just be the lanyard hole. That's really my gripe. I'd like to see a little bit more jimping, even if you don't want, or a little bit more aggressive jimping, even if you don't want to lower this, because it's really not that tall. And I would like to see this gotten rid of. Now, the compound has a taller body and a taller blade, but I honestly think for everyday carry, this is a fantastic option, and I definitely would recommend this one. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you have a Counter-Strike? Do you have maybe something from Microtech or Guardian Tactical that's very similar to this, and what your thoughts are on it? Because I did try the Ultratech and it just wasn't for me. The jimping was way too aggressive and the body was way too slick. But I am trying to look at other knives that are OTF automatics to look at to compare to this one. I've had another Counter-Strike, and then I had the Tac Knives. If you go to tackknivesusa.com, they're not USA made knives, and they're clear about that. That's just the website that they've built, and I think they have ambitions down the road to start making stuff USA made, but everything is made over in China. So I did experience like 3 of theirs through the pass around group, and one of them made such an impression on me, the Mini, that I grabbed that for the other pouch that I'm building the loadout for currently, and I really like that. Really, really nice. And I didn't realize it till later, but actually one of theirs that has the side switch, which was built extremely well, was a Riyadh built knife. So really cool for the money that you were getting from that OTF. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. I really enjoy this knife a lot, and I was happy to bring this review to you and make this recommendation. I love this knife a lot. It's been flawless for me. Shout out and thanks to everyone out there that leaves the likes, comments on the videos, and is regularly subscribed. I love you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a fantastic week. And until next time, peace.